So, good day, ma'am. So, I am Angelica Malaran, and today I will be discussing the conservation of momentum, focusing on understanding linear and angular momentum in dynamic systems. But first, we must know what is momentum. So, momentum is the product of mass and velocity, and it helps us predict how objects move and interact. So it comes with two forms, linear momentum, which involves straight line motion, and angular momentum, which involves rotation. When is linear momentum conserved? So linear momentum is conserved when the total linear impulse is zero. So this means that if no external impulsive forces act in a certain direction, the momentum in that direction stays constant. So, for example, during ice skating, if friction is negligible, the skater's combined momentum remains the same. So, sometimes there are forces that are so small or brief that can be ignored in calculations. So, those forces are called non impulsive forces. So, like a soft spring force, brief ground contact, and an object's own weight when it doesn't affect the collision significantly. So now let's discuss the conservation of angular momentum. So angular momentum is conserved if the angular impulse is zero about a certain point, like the center of mass or axis of rotation. So this means even if linear momentum changes, angular momentum can still remain constant if the external forces do not produce torque about that reference point. So this is the equation for the angular momentum. So can linear and angular momentum be conserved independently? So can one be conserved without the other? So the answer is yes. One can be conserved without the other, depending on where forces act and whether they produce torque or linear impulse. So an angular momentum may be conserved even if linear momentum isn't. So the procedure for analysis in solving problems that involves momentum: first, draw a free body diagram. Classify forces as impulsive or non-impulsive. Decide if linear or angular momentum applies. Use impulse or momentum diagrams if needed, and use kinematic diagrams for velocity relations. So here are the sample problems. So imagine two ice skaters standing still on ice facing each other. So one skater weighs 60 kilogram and the other weighs 40 kilogram. And they push off each other and move in opposite directions. So the given is the mass of skater A, 60 kilogram, the mass of skater B, 40 kilogram. So after pushing off, skater B moves to the right at 3 meter per second. So what we need is the skater A's velocity. Total momentum before is equals to total momentum after. So 0 is equals to mass times velocity of the skater A plus the mass times the velocity of skater B. So 0 equals 60 times velocity A plus 40 times 3. So just substitute the given. 0 equals 60 velocity A plus 120. And 60 velocity A equals negative 120. So over 60, velocity A is equals to negative 2 meter per second. That means that the skater A moves at 2 meter per second in the opposite direction. And now, let's talk about the eccentric impact and coefficient of restitution. So, the understanding post-collision behavior in rigid body dynamics. So, eccentric impact, which occurs when the line of impact does not pass through the body's mass centers. So, results in translational and rotational motion. So, this causes both translation and rotation after collision. So, we use impulse and momentum principles along with the coefficient of restitution to analyze these impacts. So the coefficient of restitution, or E, describes how elastic a collision is. So if E is equals to 1, it is perfectly elastic. If E is greater than 0 but less than 1, it is partially elastic. And if P is equals to 0, so it is perfectly inelastic. So this is the equation for the coefficient of restitution, or the E. So during an eccentric impact, so there are five phases: initial velocity state, deformation phase, a maximum compression, restitution phase, and final velocity state. So understanding these phases helps predict post-collision behavior. So our sample problem is a 1 kilogram ball moving at 1 meter per second hits the end of a very light rod. The coefficient of restitution is 1. Since the rod has no mass, all momentum remains with the ball, and we can use just the restitution equation. So here is the restitution equation. 1 equals v rod, velocity rod minus velocity of the ball equals to 1, or the vr minus v1 equals 1. So after the transfers to the rod, so the v rod is equals to 1.4 meter per second, and the v ball is equals to 0.4 seconds. And I think that concludes my presentation of linear and angular momentum conservation and centric impact. Thank you, ma'am.